Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
And we're off. Off and running with a nice start. One of the most impressive starts in the last decade plus for Lobel men's basketball. In the pit, Texas Southern 92-55. How you feeling? Good morning to you. Men and ladies winners last night in the pit. Little pit party against Texas Southern. Thanks for coming, supplying the drinks, the food. Clean up on your way out, and good night now. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck, DC. How you living?
What'd it do?
How was the evening? You had you had a day, dude. You had Lady Lobos basketball here, and then you sat around. JJ and I had good seats. We sat in his little courtside seats for the Lobo men's game. Well, I mean, he had them. We might as well sit there, right?
There's nothing better than sitting on the wood for a basketball game.
Yeah, it's different. It's good. Impressive for the men. How'd you feel for the ladies? Impressive at the end?
Yeah, the way that they were able to close out that game, it's going to be a roller coaster ride for women. A lot of turnover on this year's roster, but you saw some definitely highlights of players that they can lean on and keep your hopes up.
All right, all 12 scholarship players got in for the men's team. Everybody playing at least 9 minutes. That will not be the case every day. But when you win 92-55, you've got the luxury to be able to do things like that. Jamal Mashburn Jr. led the way with 15 points. Donovan Dent had 12. You almost got a triple, or a double-double from JT Toppin. 11 points, 9 rebounds. He had 8 rebounds in the first half, right?
Yes, he did.
I remember looking at you and just going, dude's got 8 rebounds in the first half of his first college game. And he's a beast. I think he's going to be terrific. You see where Nelly Jr. Joseph is coming. He's going to be fine. They started all 3 guards. Do you like the lineup where Richard? Because I kind of do, by the way. Starting House, Mashburn, and Dent.
It gives them a lot of options of what they can do, because even before the game was out of hand, the Lobos played 11 players in the first half. So Richard Pitino was substituting in and out quickly, throwing different lineups out there. And when you have multiple guards that you want to have in the game, when you have guys off the bench, the experience in Baker and Mushila that you want to play, you have to be committed to that. And I think that's a good thing to do early in a game, and then you can find out what, in a close game, what lineup you need to lock into down the stretch.
I think they've got the flexibility to go big. You said to me, Quentin Webb could have helped them last year, huh? And maybe he could have. He got 12 minutes. You just see up and down the lineup. True Washington is a lockdown defensive guard who's big and long and athletic, who, by the way, can score. He had 6 rebounds to go with 6 points in 16 minutes. All around. And again, they played a team out of the SWAC that, by the way, goes to the NCAA tournament. That's one of the better teams, if not the best teams, in the SWAC, and Lobos ran them out of the building. Everything you probably want out of your opener, headed to St. Mary's on Thursday, right?
Check all the boxes. Had all the players healthy out on the court. Definitely things to get excited about. And when you look at JT Toppin, True Washington, the fact that when the true freshmen came in, they're like, oh, let's trap. And it worked.
What'd you think of that? I really enjoyed the pressure.
It was really impressive, just with the length and athleticism that this team has. And it's partly because of true freshmen.
Yeah. 2 guys, we sat around all summer. We listened to guys that were coming in. You listen to the transfer portal, and it was about Nelly Jr. Joseph and Amzil and Mushila, right? And you heard about all the guys that are coming, Baker. and you almost kind of forgot about the true freshmen who were committed, and maybe you forgot about them because you figured, well, there's nowhere for them to play. Well, I promise you, there's room for JT Toppin to play. JT Toppin is their best big coming off the bench, correct?
Yes, he is.
I mean, already.
Look at the athleticism, the effort that he puts in defensively, and he finds the ball under the basket. He's going to put it in.
And True Washington is going to force his way into the lineup because there's just too much there for him not to be able to play. I just think he's just I think he's just too good. So, all right, 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. Here's what you had yesterday. Lobo men win in the pit opener. They beat Texas Southern 92-55. Lobo women pull away late. They beat Texas Southern 79-56. New Mexico State was on the road, and they had a task now. They were in Rupp Arena playing the 16th ranked team in the country, and they had their hands full with Kentucky. And you looked up at halftime, it was 37-29. Aggies were within 8. And I don't know how much you saw the first half. The Aggies looked like they were playing with them. And this is an Aggie team that we had no idea, right? Like, literally,
Zero.
You had no idea what to expect. And then Kentucky hit them with a 49-17 second half. Ran them out and beat them by 40. 86-46 was the final. I'm not sure I know what the Aggies are. I know that they didn't shoot well yesterday, especially in the second half. But they were 32% overall, and look, this was going to be a rough one. They got $110,000 to go play at Kentucky, and they'll come home and they'll play Sul Ross this week and get started. I still not sure. I think I know what they are in their league, but they went to Kentucky, and welcome to the Jason Hooten era.
Experience.
Is that what that's all about?
Yeah. You always, as a fan, in the back of your mind, like, we're going to shock the world. We're going to do something. And then you're just not that team yet.
They were up
You're
6-2, dude.
New.
They were up 6-2.
Brand new.
They're going to win. Yeah, okay. I think 16.5 points wasn't enough. The ladies, their ladies lost also at home to Arizona. So they're both 0-1. Lots of stuff. Did you see Stigler, you?
Woo! Stigatron. Let's go.
I mean, I don't know what's going on at James Madison. Their football team is undefeated and ranked.
Never lost.
Their basketball team went in and beat fourth-ranked Michigan State, 79-76. It is the first, Michigan State was ranked fourth, the first AP top 5 team to lose their opener at home to an unranked team since 2001. That would be 22 years ago, when Western Kentucky beat Kentucky. That's how long ago this hasn't happened. James Madison is 2-32 all time against ranked teams. Last time they beat a ranked team, they beat Cal in 1992. I don't know what's going on at JMU. Maybe Stigler upped his donations to his alma mater. All the money he's making here at Cumulus Media, and he upped his donations, and the NIL money and the NIL pool is going. But he's going to be walking in here in his brand new JMU sweatshirt today, right? Dukes.
I would if I was him.
Hell yes.
He's got a lot to be happy about right now.
Kind of crazy, isn't it, though?
It is, because that name keeps popping up, and it seems like it's out of nowhere. But the football deal also is really interesting, with them potentially being locked out of the playoff for bowls system. But that's a team that's up and coming. It's kind of fun to watch.
Every calculation I see, by the way, the system is going to kind of come up short on the bowl side. And James Madison, and I do believe Jacksonville State also, are both going to get into a bowl. I think the system is going to come up short, and hence they're going to get in. Now, the argument, are they the best group of 5 team? From what I heard, they're not eligible to get to a New Year's Six bowl. Because we were having this conversation yesterday. Was that with you, or I don't remember who I was having it with? James Madison, because they are still transitioning up to FBS, them and Jacksonville State, are not eligible for bowls unless there aren't enough teams to fill the system. I think it's 82, might be 84 teams, I'm not sure. And so the first place they look is okay, are there transitioning teams, and there will be 2. So they'll get in. But can you make the argument James Madison is the best group of 5 team? I think you can, right?
Yes, you can.
But
with Tulane and Air Force having a loss.
yeah, and I don't know that they're eligible to get into the New Year's Six as the representative of the Group of Five. Boy, do we got a lot to do today. I mean, we got the NFL last night. I got the worst. Recency bias is hard for me, DC. The worst beat I may have ever taken in a fantasy football game. I'll share that with you later because nobody cares about your fantasy football team, but everybody can commiserate with a loss like I took last night. I mean, I'm not sure they've settled yet. That's a kick to the stones, and I think they're still in my cheeks.
Was it less than 1 point?
No, it was 2, but it was the way it went down. It was.
You seem a little upset by this.
Well, it's the kind of cause you loses your sleep. You ever had one of those?
Yes, I have. Many times.
It was that kind. So, we'll commiserate on that a little bit too. We got another lawsuit filed by former players, basketball players at New Mexico State against the university. We have to get into that a little bit and what that means going forward, if it means anything to you. But when we come back, New Mexico State is bowl eligible. New Mexico State has won 5 football games in a row for the first time. I mean, all these first-time senses. I'll get them all to you, and we'll go over them with Jerry Kill. The head football coach at New Mexico State, who's got that program on a roll and that fan base abuzz. A conversation with Jerry Kill and the 7-3 Aggies, who, if they win on Saturday at Western Kentucky, clinch a spot in a Conference USA Championship game. Jerry Kill's next. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal, your home for Sunday night and Monday night and Thursday night football.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Spell, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated,
ripped, plastered,
destroyed, bruh.
If you're like this,
You shouldn't be driving.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Eligible for the second time in a row. There's some great things going on down there. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta, J.J. Buck. So since October 15th of last year, the Aggies are 13-4 in football. They have won 5 straight for the first time since 1961. They have won 5 straight games in their conference for the first time since ever. It's never been done before in Aggie football. 7 regular season wins. It's the second time since 1968. They go to back-to-back bowl games for the first time since the 1959 and 60 seasons. Their head coach is Jerry Kill. He joins us this morning on The Sports Animal. Congratulations, Jerry. You still wobbling in your shoes down there?
Well, you wish you could, but we got a huge game this week, and so you get to celebrate on the field that night, and then kick back. You're tired. You get you some ice cream, and you go to bed, and you're back up in the morning. And we had a recruit or 2 in, and then you get ready for Western Kentucky, which is a big game for our school and a big game for us.
Well, if the Aggies win at Western Kentucky on Saturday, you will clinch a berth in the Conference USA Championship game in your first year in that league. It's a big deal, and the 13-7 win on Saturday last week against Middle Tennessee, like nothing's easy. You might as well take it down to the end and make sure you have your defense make a few plays and keep them out of the end zone and keep everybody nervous because you didn't want to party too early, did you?
Well, it wasn't supposed to work out quite like that. At halftime, I think we had 256 on offense, and they had 112, and then we just couldn't finish, but really, the player of the game was our punter. He made, he kept him inside the 10 all night and made him go the long field, and that's hard to do.
Zach Haynes, 6 punts for 40, averaging 41-plus yards. Hey, Jerry, what does this mean for the program? You've been there long enough to understand the history. You've been there long enough now to understand how hungry people, Aggie fans, were for sustained success. 13-4 since the middle of October last year, and now a chance to play for a conference championship. I know you've got a sense of what it means for Aggie fans.
Oh, yeah, I do. I think that, the crowd made it different. They had 3 false start penalties, and I think that talking to one of their coaches, they weren't prepared, for the noise and stuff, and it was like I said, a good environment to play in, and it takes a while. I mean, you got to have that, time in, time out, and you just got to keep winning. And but I'm happy for people around here. I don't think they even know we're playing for a conference championship. To be honest with you, they just heard about the bowl game, and now I got to get them educated. Now wait a minute. Now we still got work to do here. We got a chance to do something really good. So we just, like I said, we'll approach this game like everyone else or everyone we have, and it'll be tough because it's on the road and they're very good. But hey, we're there.
Yep.
And we might as well, let it all go on Saturday at 1:30.
Well, it's been a minute. They need education. It's been a minute since they've been in not only a conference championship game, since they've been in a conference. It's Jerry Kill, and he's New Mexico State's head coach, with us on the opening drive on the Sports Animal.
So, Jerry, this Middle Tennessee team had been moving the football, scoring a lot of points throughout the season. You talked last week about how good their quarterback was. How was your defense able to limit them to just one touchdown on the day?
Well, I just think, our kids really, really, really played hard. Our defensive guys, with, both our, with Nate and Dryling and Melvin Rice put together a great plan. And they really just really, really, really played hard. They're starting to grow up and understand what they're supposed to do and not think so much. And, that helps a bunch. And then, our defense, when it gets playing pretty well, it's hard to see what we're doing. We keep trying to keep people off balance, and our kids are starting to be able to do that. And we were able to, we didn't have sacks, and we made the quarterback move a lot. And you had to get him off his spot, or he would get after you. So we were able to maybe not sack him, but we put a lot of pressure on him to get him off his spot, and we're able to slow him down a little bit. But he's a good player now. I mean, they got him for a while, or they'll have to take care of him because or he'll be in the portal because he's a very good player.
And you look at your defense and how they were able to keep players off balance, the opposing teams off balance. When did you start to see things really start to click in with as much as you want to do defensively, that these guys, if they started to understand it, now they're playing faster, they're playing freely, and they're making plays?
Well, I would say I really would say this week. I think I think the last 2 weeks maybe, but I knew we were getting better, and the key to all that too is offensively. You got to hold on to, we're holding on to the ball pretty good. We're having long drives, and there's not a lot of possessions in the game, and that helps your defense. But I just think as far as coming together and all that kind of stuff over the last couple of weeks, we've played really good. But we played about, going into this game at Ellis, but we played about as good as defensive football game, on Saturday, and probably since I've been here. And just like I said, we got some guys that can play over there, and I think a couple of them came in late. When we started camp, and there's Miles Rouser can really play, and we just got some guys that are starting to get comfortable, and that's a good thing. And we only have 5 seniors. I don't think people understand that, and so that's been the biggest problem we've had, is just bringing all the group together with 5 seniors and leadership and etc.
Jerry Kill, New Mexico State's head football coach, is with us on the Sports Animal. You talked in the offseason about how recruiting got better. We had Keyshawn Elliott with us about a week and a half ago, and he talked about all the schools that recruited him, and he said he came to New Mexico State because he had a chance to play as a freshman. He's a stud, man, and a leader, and another guy you're going to have to keep. But his development, I know he didn't lead you in tackles, but he always is one of the top tackling leaders. What a center of your defense he's become.
Yeah, he's been a good player as a freshman. He played as a freshman, and then he's gotten better and better and better. he's a great human being, great kid. Comes from a great family. Just one of those kids, you visit with him, you take home in a minute. And on top of that, he's a great football player. And, he's a guy, he's had opportunities and things like that because, coming from Kansas and then all of a sudden excelling. But, I think that, he'll be here if I have to give him my salary. Now that's a joke. Whenever anybody's saying, "Oh, Coach Kill's doing this," because that can happen. But no, retrospect, he's done a heck of a job.
All right, coming up, you got a heck of a final 3 plus a bowl game. So you got 4 left, at least, maybe 5 if you win this weekend. The prospects of you playing 14 before the bowl game is somewhat crazy, but that's what you're looking at. You got a Western Kentucky team who's a perennial big dog in your league. Then you go to the SEC, play Auburn. And what Rich Rodriguez has done with Jacksonville State, I don't think people realize how good Jacksonville State is, and they're probably going to get into a bowl game because I don't think the system's going to fill. Is it good that you've got this at the end of the year to get their attention?
Well, I think, it's one of those things, to be honest with you. In our conference, anybody can beat anybody. That's how close it is. You got Sam Houston, he finally got him a W, and shoot, they played great defense, and they played people close, and played Jacksonville close. So I just think our team, it's whatever team shows up and they're ready to play, and you never know about 18, 22-year-old kids what they're thinking, but you just got to be ready each week, and I'll go out practice and say we're going to do the same thing we always do. Take one day at a time, and we're not going to worry about who we're playing. Right now, we got to continue to get better, and we'll talk today about some things, and then we won't talk about the rest of the week. And our bottom line is that we control how we play, and and as long as we play hard, I can live with it. And right now, we're playing hard, and we may not be playing smart, but we're playing very, very hard.
Jerry, you got a chance, and do the kids realize how big this is? You got a chance. You win this weekend, you will be in the Conference USA Championship game, first year in that league. They realize, and if they don't, I'm sure they will. What's on the line and what that all means, right?
Yeah, I don't think anybody, really understood. I'm not sure our registration understood. Hey, the bowl game's great, no doubt. It's awesome, but hey, that's not what we set out to do, and certainly when it's your first year in the conference, our kids know. I let them know the October plan, the November plan, and they know how important it is, and I don't want them to be tight, uptight and so forth. So. The less you talk about it and talk about what you control and play hard and all that, but they know what's on the line, and we've been having fun, we've been playing hard, and we just we can't change that, and we're going to play with one of the premier quarterbacks in our league with great athletes. They've always had them. Coach is a good friend of mine, he told me this is kind of crazy. He told me before the season started, he said, "Coach, you'll be in the run at the end of the season." And I kind of laughed at him, a little bit. So I'm sure he'll give me a hard time. But
I remember you telling me when we were staying in that room in Florida back in May. You pointed at him and said that may be the best coach in the league.
Yeah, and we got some good ones. Don't get me wrong. We got some really, really good coaches. Rich Rod being one of them, and but. Being at Western Kentucky, I know a lot about that school. We played him when I was at Southern Illinois. So, he's just, he's born and bred to be a football coach, that whole family.
Yeah, Tyson can do it, and his brother's been successful at it, and boy, you got a big one. Hey, safe travels out there. Jerry, always appreciate the conversation. Congratulations on the success. Keep it rolling. I know we'll talk next Tuesday, and I'll see you soon.
All right, thank you.
Be well. Jerry Kill. Is he up? Am I over my skis? National Coach of the Year. If they get into that championship,
they win the conference.
Yeah. Am I over my skis here a little bit? I might be, right? I mean, you start looking at what Kalen DeBoer has done at Washington. He's something's going to happen there.
JMU goes undefeated.
JMU, what JMU's doing. This was considered.
He's in the receiving votes category.
Fair enough. I mean, if he doesn't win, and look what Rich Rodriguez is doing in that league. They're 7-3. Did you see Jacksonville State? They played South Carolina SEC. That was their money game. They were 28-28 going into the fourth quarter on Saturday. They lost by 10 at South Carolina.
Smart money game.
Hell yes, it is. Hell yes. Liberty's doing a hell of a job, and Tyson Helton's done a job. I'm just, man, you just look at what they're doing and all the things that they haven't done since, and you start going back into the day. All right, you can respond to any of that. 505-246-0610. Aggie fan, I think you're probably still wobbling. It'll be wherever you get it. 505-246-0610. And when we come back, Chargers did not charger. You know why? I'll tell you why. Next, it's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Insurance is not a commodity you can buy off the shelf. You need a professional on your side to help you buy auto, home,
We would
life
like
insurance.
to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready.
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Rosendo Najar here, president of Carpenters Local 1319.
Juan Junior Gonzalez, warden of Local 1319. Some people have a misconception about what a carpenter does.
The carpentry trade entails more than just woodworking or building houses. We are responsible for 85% of a construction job site. Everything from the superintendent on down. We have a great apprenticeship program. Information can be found on our website.
The bitter tweet of the day. Should we start that? Because
that'd be a good one.
Being serious, sponsored by Lemonheads or something. Bitter tweet of the day from a number that I mean, this is kind of on brand, I believe. We're talking about New Mexico State. We just had Jerry Kill on with us. I said the fan base is buzzing. They've won 5 in a row. They're going to 2 back-to-back bowl games. They're playing for a chance to go to a conference championship. And the text says, "Wow, yes, a buzz about stringing together a few wins against 2-6 teams. Can you find a 2-6 opponent for them in your Dream House New Mexico Bowl, Jeffy?" Yeah, I'm working on it there, sir. We'll find them a nice 2-6 team. That'll make you happy. I mean, why the bitter? Why can't you just? I don't know. Whatever. Do your thing. Did they string together the wins against Alabama and Texas and Michigan? Nope. They beat teams in their conference that were on their schedule. And probably, I'm not sure who your team is, but might have beat yours. Just saying. Right? I don't know why at this point. I just think that takes so bad. Yeah, who they beat? They're beating who's in front of them. And probably you. I mean, am I wrong?
No, because it's exactly what happened.
It's 7:30 in the morning. You got to be pretty upset about something to fire off the hate tax.
I just think it's such a tired take. Oh, who they beating? I don't know who's in front of them. It's who they beat. And you're right. You beat two of the teams that beat them. Yeah, you did. But they're 7-3. Last I checked, they didn't turn down an invite into your league. What do you think New Mexico State would be if they were in the Mountain West with this football team? If they played in the Mountain West, would they? I mean, I don't think they're better, honestly, and we might find out in a bowl game somewhere. I mean, Air Force, Fresno State, UNLV are really good. I think Boise State and Wyoming are good, right? Middle of the pack?
Yes.
Upper middle?
It's not. They'd be. I think where Wyoming is right now.
Okay, I think that's fair. Their defense, I think, is legit. They score.
Here's the thing: we're not talking about the college football playoff, so I don't need to worry about strength of schedule.
That's right.
Or what it looks like. I just need to know: are you bowl eligible and you're playing for a conference championship?
Bitter take. And they are bowl eligible, and if they win this weekend at Western Kentucky, they will be playing for a conference championship. So they've got a chance with 3 games left on the regular season schedule to get into their conference championship game. Western Kentucky is 5-4 overall, 3-2. They beat South Florida out of the American. Their losses are to Ohio State. Fair. Troy beat them 27-24. Now their losses, I mean, they lost to Ohio State. I don't even, what is Troy's record? Do you know? Troy is, I don't know. I can't find Troy's record. But they lost to Liberty, who's undefeated. They lost to Jacksonville State, who just, I mean, played with South Carolina the other day, and they lost to Ohio State. So they're playing a better football team. I didn't say better than them. A good football team this weekend, and we'll see. But they put themselves. Troy is 7-2, so they lost to 7-2 Troy, Ohio State, who's undefeated, Liberty, who's undefeated, and Jacksonville, who's twice defeated. That's Western Kentucky. That's a pretty good team they're playing this weekend, huh?
Pretty good, but
4.5-point dogs.
The Aggies are pretty good.
Yeah, I think so too. All right, Monday Night Football last night. Is it fair to say now the Jets are done? At 4-4?
Man. I told you yesterday.
What'd you tell me? Anybody can beat anybody?
Did not say that,
okay.
But that's what we always say on Mondays. Jets are that Honda Civic, man. They're just going to keep on chugging along. Like, you want to be done with them, and then you're going to find a way, like, oh, this thing's still going. Get you another 20,000 miles, and that's going to be the New York Jets because defensively, they're still that good. They're just inept on offense.
They're inept on offense. At some point, do you have to score points?
You do.
And even, I mean, they held the Chargers. The Chargers scored 2 offensive touchdowns. I know what the last one was.
Turnovers.
Oh, one of them, because the second one should have been he stepped out of bounds and sorry. The turnovers were brutal. The turnovers mattered. And what do you? I mean,
sacked Zach Wilson 8 times.
Is the verdict in on him, or was it his offensive line's fault? He was 30. Gosh, he threw 49 times yesterday. Didn't throw an interception. Now he did fumble. They had no running game, 64 yards, second week in a row. Breece Hall had one big run last week, but other than that, they're not able to run the ball. I thought they did. Look, do you know how many total yards of offense the Chargers had? 191. That's it. 191 yards of total offense. That can't be right, can it? Justin Herbert only threw for 107 yards.
When you turn football over, you have a special teams touchdown.
Yeah.
Short fields.
Stats don't tell the story all the time, do they?
Nope.
Nice win for the Chargers. A game they should have won. That's the kind of game they do win.
A game they should have won. No one picked the Chargers.
Really?
It was jet sweet when you look at those pregame graphics.
Really?
Yep.
Why?
Because
why did
the Chargers don't win these games, Jeff. Not a game they should have won. They're not the team that grinds it out, finds a way. They're a team that always finds a way to lose.
Yeah, they are. But the Jets are just, I think, they beat the Bears and the Jets the last 2 weeks. Two teams that are scuffling that are just not very good. They can't score. Now they get the Lions, Packers, Ravens, Patriots. I mean, we'll see a little bit. We'll see the Lions next week at home in L.A. or in San Diego, or where should they play?
Somewhere in California.
So the lower part of California. Austin Eckler, 2 touchdowns. So DC, here's how it went. Maybe my worst loss. I needed a win. I'm winning. Dude's got Austin Eckler. Okay, he got that first touchdown. Whatever. I'll go to the Lobo game. I'm holding on, and with 4 minutes to go, the Jets have the ball. I'm like, okay, I'm up by 4 or 5, and I'm good. He needs a touchdown. They're not, even if they get the ball back, they're not scoring. Well, then they got the strip sack, fumble, and they run it back the other way. If the defense scores a touchdown, I'm golden, but they put him out at the 2 and hand him the football, and I lose by a point. There was no way they were going to give him another ball. Just one of the most bitter. That's the kind of keep you up at night. Jeff, you're too. Yeah, you're right. That one was brutal. All right, we got a lot of NFL stuff to get through. So Tuesday we get a lot of injury stuff. We get. I see you wrote on here a good loss ? Cowboy fan, I don't even know what that is. So when we come back, a good loss. I don't even know what that is, but that's kind of how that is being described, your loss to the Eagles. We'll get into that when we come back. You can get in. It's yours the rest of the way at 505-246-0610, 505-246-0610, Jeff or JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. Hey, the cold winter is coming, and it's coming fast, and it will not be kind to your vehicle. Give your car the protection it needs. Get a visit from On the Spot Automotive Detailing. I recommend them. Why? Well, because I use them, and because I think they're great, and because I love the service, and because every time I've given it as a gift, it has been a big hit. But not only do they offer great detailing services, their ceramic coating and paint protection film work like magic. No more mud, no more dirt, no more water stains. Their protective layering helps prevent UV oxidation damage to your car's paint, and with an opportunity to get a lifetime warranty, you can't go wrong. On the Spot Automotive Detailing also offers window tint services for your vehicle. Visit them online, get all the information. You can even book right there. It's otsdetailing.com, otsdetailing.com.
This report is sponsored.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
If you're drunk,
Blasted.
intoxicated,
Rip.
plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom. Boom.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
Upped his NIL contributions. He must be making chunks and chunks and stacks of money here. It gave it to his alma mater. Not only is James Madison, and you know where it is? You know where it is?
It's Virginia, right?
Harrisonburg, Virginia, of course. They are ranked in football and undefeated, and you know the story, and they're going to need the system to not fill enough bowl-eligible teams for them to get into a bowl game, which I do believe will happen. Their basketball team last night opened up the season. James Madison went into Michigan State, beat Tom Izzo and the fourth-ranked Michigan State Spartans. 79-76 in East Lansing. It is the first time a top 5 team has lost at home to open the season to an unranked team since Western Kentucky beat Kentucky in 2001. That was the last time that went down.
Dang.
Yeah. So, wow. All right, so you got a question on NMSU. AC says, I find it funny NMSU fans complain about the Aggie schedule. However, the Lobos would lose to those teams that State beat. They might. I don't know. I mean, I find it, I don't know if it's funny. I find it. It's just bitter. How about that? Is that give me another word. You got a better word for me?
It's bitter.
No, man, I just don't know where else to go with that. Emails. Lobo Hobo says, Lobo broadcast question, Jeff. I would assume the current announcer will stay in town to cover Lobo football, Utah State, 2 weeks from Friday, by the way. So will you and George Carter be in Vegas to call that tournament for Lobo basketball? No, actually. Rob will be out there on Tuesday and Wednesday, and they are using someone from Vegas on that Friday. So no, will not be there. But Lobo Hobo, appreciate that. Garcia, New Mexico State is textbook example of bowl eligible but not bowl worthy. Wow. All right, they're 7-3, Garcia. Tell me why they're not bowl. Why is NMSU not bowl worthy? Why do you think he says that? Because they haven't beaten enough people up to his par. Why do you think they're not bowl worthy, Dan?
It's got to be who they've beaten.
Okay, 7-3. All right. I don't think that's going to stop their party. By the way, Rod says the system is broken, Jefferson. If there aren't enough teams, again, the answer is not bending the rules to bring in Rich Rods and the battling Stigfords. The answer is eliminating bowls because there are too many bowls, from Rod. You're right. I mean, you know, if James Madison goes...
Right, that we're bending the rules for a team that could maybe lose once the entire year.
Or nonce. Yeah, you're right. You know, 11-1 teams shouldn't go to a bowl game. And Rich Rod, they're 7-3, so they could end up, I don't know, 9 wins, 10-win team. You're right, though. They shouldn't go to a bowl game. Okay, I keep telling Rod, and Rod, you and I hopefully one day will meet, but the answer is don't watch them. Don't watch them. Rod's probably sent me, I don't know, if I give you an over under 250, there are too many bowl emails. You think would you go over? Easily over.
Once a day, probably just has it in his draft and just fires it off.
Yeah. Rod, because Rod doesn't want to watch them. The people, the student athletes shouldn't have the experience, and the cities shouldn't get to host, and the people who want to watch.
We are so conditioned as sports fans to just everything has to be bitter, everything has to be a failure, everything has to be a hot take of how something is bad.
Yeah.
That you just live life that way through sports.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. All right, keep them coming. It's just like Bitter Tuesday. What is a good win? I mean, a good loss. I always ask you that. What is a good loss? Cowboys linebacker Micah Parsons, quote, on the Cowboys' loss to the Eagles. We know we played good enough to win that game, but we didn't. That's just how the dice rolls sometimes. That's just the reality of the game. I feel like we have even more confidence now. I feel like everybody had us out, and everyone was praising the Eagles. Obviously, we gave them their best fit. I'm not even going to spit fuel on the fire. We'll see them again in 4 weeks, end quote. I don't think he's saying it's a good win. I think you can gain from win. I think you can learn from losses. I think you can grow from losses. To me, there's a difference between a good loss and growing from a loss. And I think that's kind of what he's saying, right?
Yeah, for this one, if you're the Dallas Cowboys, you're not sitting there going, oh, man, how are we going to flip this matchup? How are we going to compete against Philadelphia Eagles? So their mindset is,
we know we can.
We'll get them at home.
Yeah.
We'll get them at home. But coming out of that, you said it yesterday, and people just keep looking at Dak Prescott and going, is he just not good enough to win the big one? Not the Super Bowl, but even a big-time regular season matchup. Or get past the 49ers in the playoffs. You just have that doubt because there's not that resume builder. And these are the little things that you see in the regular season, a big game in the regular season, but the things that go on the talking point resume of teams believing in themselves, believing the narrative, and you just come out of that and going, is Dak's good, but is he just always going to be
good,
a step short?
Yeah.
And it's Tony Romo 2.0 in that regard. And because you look last year in the games that Dallas and Philadelphia split, we didn't get a Jalen Hurts versus Dak Prescott game. It was the backups were playing.
I forgot about that.
They swapped.
Yeah, it was the Cooper Rush versus
the Cooper Rush Hurts game, and then you had the
it
was Dak Prescott versus
I remember who it was.
Gardner Minshew.
It was Gardner Minshew, wasn't it? Yeah. All right, Marty, you want to talk global football? Good morning, Marty.
Hey guys, so I was at that drubbing Saturday, and I'm week to week, as we all know. But the reality is, I give coaches and players chances up to a certain point. I personally feel it's time to move on from Danny. And hear me out on this. I know and there's not a lot to pay out, I would imagine. And the reason for that is that you're not even competitive. If you're competitive in some of these games, then I say, hey, let's give it time. You're not competitive, So when you're not competitive, that tells me you just. And there's no identity to this football team.
Yeah, you weren't competitive last week.
Danny's identity as a coach? I haven't figured it out.
Yeah, you certainly weren't competitive last week. Now, if you go back and look through them, you were competitive at.
Not Nevada.
Well, I mean, you lost by 10. It was 24-0. Then you won the second half, whatever that means. You were competitive at Wyoming. You were at halftime, and then you got blown out by San Jose State. Yeah, look, I get it. I think that's a fair bar. Are we competitive? Are we close? Are we getting closer? I think that's something that you got to look at. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. I always say we let Loxley go too early. That was my opinion. I always felt like, hey, give the guy, But I think eventually he would have turned it around. Eventually he would have kept recruiting guys. I know he went East Coast route, but eventually he would have. I just don't know, Danny. Does he have recruiting time? I just don't know. What is his identity? He speaks well. That's great, but there's got to be results on the field, and I haven't seen any. And this love affair is sticking with these certain players, and at some point, these last three games.
What players the love affair with?
Well, the quarterback. I would have moved on from him already.
You don't think Hopkins
is he coming back next year?
No, he's out of eligibility. Dylan Hopkins.
Why would you keep playing him?
Because you're trying to win games. I think he is your best chance. Dylan Hopkins.
I don't think you're trying to win games if you're the Lobos. You're trying to build a program. You haven't won any games. I don't think you're trying to win games. In my opinion, I wouldn't even go at it that way.
Yeah,
I would go at it we're trying to get some building blocks here.
It's only the quarterback, man.
We're not trying to win games. There's no pressure to win anything.
No, there's a lot of pressure, I think.
Hey, job's on the line.
Yeah, your job's on the line. The music's playing, so I got to hit the break, Marty, but thanks for the call. Marty's passionate about it, and he cares. It's interesting. So let's continue this when we come back. He said there's no pressure to win games. You're trying to build a program. I think there's a lot of different perspectives on it, and the head coach is going to have a different one than you might. But I want to get into that when we come back. On the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal, your home for Sunday night, Monday night, and Thursday night football.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. It's the OD in the AM with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Basketball season opened up last night. Lobo men 92, Texas Southern 55. Everybody got to eat last night. Big win to open things up in the pit. Ladies were victors, 79-56 over Texas Southern in the pit. Pulled away late. Next up, they go to Pepperdine. The men will be at St. Mary's on Thursday. New Mexico State opened up at Kentucky. We're down by 8 at halftime and end up being down by 40 by the time it was done. 86-46. They lose to 16th ranked Kentucky in Rupp Arena. Monday Night Football last night. Chargers 27, Jets 6. Domination. And but with all that, we just had an interesting call from Marty. And I like Marty's calls a lot. Marty's been a really good contributor to our show for a lot of years. And he said that there's a love affair with the quarterback at UNM, that they should stop playing Dylan Hopkins and start playing younger players and seeing what they got. And I would tell you, it's all perspective, right? Dylan Hopkins is a good quarterback. This is kind of the Terry Wilson. Was it Terry Wilson, right? The young man from Kentucky who came in here and had won 10 games in the SEC, but he wasn't good enough here. Well, there was a bad offensive line. He just got beat up, and people tell me he wasn't a good quarterback. He was a good quarterback. This young man, Dylan Hopkins, won bowl game at UAB. He's a good quarterback. Is he great? Is he quarterback of the future? Obviously not. So do you play Devin Dampier? I just got a text. This is interesting. Do you bench? Do you play Devin Dampier and get him ready for next year? There's enough tape out there that he's already on shopping lists, right? For other schools, if you're worried about him leaving in the portal, right?
Yeah.
So people already know. Jim said the reality is, Marty, nobody pays attention to Lobo football after last night. People complain about Lobo football for 3 months, August, September, October, then out of mind because of hoops, which runs until the end of March. Good call by Marty, besides the Loxley comment. He says, it's crazy, but I see his point. After 7 losses, play Dampier and try to keep him for next year. Somebody will give him an NIL check or don't play him and hide him so nobody knows to pay him. But I think there's enough film that he's already on someone's shopping list. I think that's right. Right? So where do you go? Dylan Hopkins is a good quarterback. He gives you the best chance to win, right? Is Dylan Hopkins the problem?
Dylan Hopkins isn't the problem. It's frustrating that they're not more successful offensively.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
And people are like, well, isn't that on the quarterback? I think Dylan Hopkins hasn't played well. The Nevada game was ridiculous. It's just out of character. This is an efficient quarterback that doesn't do that throughout the season, but we haven't seen enough spike moments, because you look at the second half against Nevada and you're just scratching your head going, what happened? And it's just more just the Lobos can't get out of their own way at times. The thing here would be, I would be even fine at this point if you go series with the quarterbacks instead of just giving Dampier 10 to 12 plays a game, which we've talked about in the game plan, is let him go, because that's the only position you're developing right now is the quarterback. Like you're not. You look at.
What do you mean? That's the only one you're developing.
Outside of like Tito Stafford, if he has a year of eligibility left, like everyone else is sophomores and juniors or has an extra year. Yeah. So you just want these dudes to keep playing football. Like there's no one other than the quarterback to bench. And I don't want to take away that from Dylan Hopkins either. It was the last time getting to play football, and then it's so easy for dudes to come in and say, you know, Hopkins, bench him.
Yeah, nobody cares about him. Yeah,
and it's the future. But the one thing with Marty, that was. So he said that there's no pressure to win, but the coach needs to be fired. So at this point in time, he's punting. So he's punting the rest of the season.
Yeah. So what should the coach do if you think you've already made up your mind that he's gone, and then
and sport and we understand. Yeah, this is still college sports. You have to produce. People understand that.
Yeah.
But I don't think benching Dylan Hopkins the rest of the season is changing the future of this program.
Well, and sure, there's pressure on the coach. I mean, and Danny feels it, and that's why they made a move with their special teams coordinator yesterday, right?
Yeah.
And Jamie Christian was relieved of his duties, and because special teams have really struggled. Sure, there's pressure on the coach to win, and he feels it, and you're applying it, and I'm not telling you unrightfully so, but that's part of being a coach. Danny told us that the other day. I mean, he was on our show, and he said, I understand that, and sure, he feels it. So I guess I don't totally understand Marty's call from, basically what he's saying is you're not out there trying to win now, you're trying to develop, right? This is about next
point in the season.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's, I guess, and to his point, if you look at this roster, if you look at the depth chart, that's the only big change this team could make. They're already playing a bunch of freshmen and sophomores in the secondary. The defensive line is a bunch of juniors that could come back next year. The offensive line, you got sophomores, juniors out there playing.
How many seniors you got to do? I don't have the chart for me. Dante Martin's a senior. I believe Sire Riley's a senior, right? And after that, I don't think you have many. I mean,
and he has the extra year available if he wants it.
Cy does?
Yeah.
All right. So there's a lot of guys who can come back. And you're going to say, well, Jeff,
do you want them back?
Want them back, right? Well, and I get that. That's right. Look, I totally get that, right? It's the Dion thought, right? If you're not winning, why am I bringing guys back? But Marty, I would tell you, why is he playing the quarterback? I do believe that's a good quarterback. Now, I like Dampier a lot too. Dampier has made a lot of mistakes, has he?
No.
And he's developing, and he gives you a little something.
I'd like to, and that's what, if there was a change to what they do with the quarterback, I'd like to see Dampier get drives in the first half.
Okay. I'm fine with that.
As opposed to 2 for 2 with a touchdown when it's 56-7 game.
And he had the 2 plays at the goal line in the first half.
Because we saw Wyoming.
Yeah.
He made plays in that game.
Yeah, he did. Look,
Two touchdown drives.
He makes plays. He makes plays.
I'd like to see him have some drives in the first half.
Do you think they're better offensively with Devin Dampier quarterback than Dylan Hopkins?
No, there's a different look because he can run more of the quarterback option game, more zone read plays in there.
Yeah. I look at it, and I always tell you this. Coaches get paid. They have pressure on them. They're doing what they can to win games. They're not playing a guy, I don't believe, out of love affairs. Their job's to win the game. They're judged on what they do, and I do believe they put out the best guys in the best situation that they believe are going to win games. And I'm always loath a bit to criticize on personnel stuff because I'm not there every day, and they are. Right? They see the dynamics. They all know way more than I. And so I tend to trust the decisions. They still believe that they can go out and win 3 games. Now, I know you may not, okay? But they believe they can beat Boise State this week. They believe they can beat Fresno State the next week and come home and beat Utah State and get to a bowl game. They believe that, and that's their goal. And until they're mathematically eliminated, if that happens, they should believe that, don't you think?
Yeah. They still have a job to do.
And so,
as a college athlete.
Yeah. And so they're going out and doing that. I just it's interesting. It's I was trying to remember there was another point in Marty's call. Lobo Hobo says, what happened to Tabscott? I thought him and Hopkins were going to be 1 and 1A. I just think Dampier is past Tabscott, right? I mean, he's just past
Devin's better than DC.
Yeah, I think that's what's happened, right? I mean, Tapscott, I think, started the season. Well, I don't think. He started the season pretty much as the number 2. And Dampier's passed him. Now, you're going to have a competition if they all stay around next year. And I don't know if they'll go out and recruit another quarterback. If they keep all 3, that would be Tapscott, Dampier, and Aiden Armenta. Justin Holiday have another year?
Not 100% sure.
I'm not sure either. But if they go into spring, the 3 of them with a competition, I think they've got a pretty decent quarterback. I think you got other issues that you got to address besides that are bigger than quarterback.
If that's the 3 they go into with next year, and Devin's not the starting quarterback, that would be a problem.
Problem why?
Because he's way ahead.
Well, if he gets beat out, you just think there's no way he can get beat out, is what you're saying.
I think I just have that. I like the upside of Devin Dampier.
Yeah, I do too.
His athleticism, the way he throws the football.
Yeah. As we sit here right now, I mean, it makes sense. Now, if he gets beat out, if Tapscott or we haven't seen Aiden play at all, right? If he comes in and they just
Aiden, I know they're excited. He's been running the scout team.
Yeah.
So that's where he's getting his work in as a true freshman.
Yeah. I don't know that when you say there's nothing to play or they're not playing to win, or is that what was the comment?
Not to play to develop.
Yeah. And it's hard to sit there as a coach saying, yeah, you know what, we don't care about winning. We just want to develop. We're worried about next year when, who knows, right? Who knows? All right, when we come back, who knows about quarterbacks? Kyler and Tyler and, well, we got to get, or is it Taylor? Kyler and Taylor. We got to get into NFL quarterbacks. Who's playing? Is it time to see Kyler Murray now? 505-246-0610. We'll do the Red Zone at 8:30 this morning on the opening drive on 95.9 FM. And AM 610, the Sports Animal, your home for Sunday night, Monday night, and Thursday night football.
This report is sponsored by Ancestry.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh? I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom. Sweet? Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom! Boom!
In, who's out, who's not, who is. All right, so everybody needs a quarterback. Scores were low this week, except for Austin Eckler. Did I tell you how much that pissed me off? All right, what about Kyler Murray? You kind of forgot about Kyler Murray a little bit, right? Is he going to play this year? What are they doing? Because I think everybody thinks, it's kind of a common thought, Cardinals are, if they're not tanking, they're just not very good, and they don't have to tank, and that they're going to be in line for the first pick, and Caleb Williams is going to be their pick, and he's going to be their quarterback. And what about Kyler Murray? He's been out. He underwent ACL surgery on January 3rd of this year. So it's basically, 11 months ago? 10 months ago? Yeah, 11 minus 1 is 10. Their coach is Jonathan Gannon. Quote for this week. The plan for quarterback this week. Kyler is going to continue to ramp up. He'll take the 1 reps. And if the week goes well, he will start Sunday in Atlanta. We'll see how the week goes. End quote. They're 1-8. The final 8 games will give them time to evaluate Murray if they want him. Look, this was a guy who got paid, didn't he? He's a franchise quarterback. Mm-hmm. He was one of the, oh my goodness, we hit it. We got Kyler Murray. This was the guy, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. The next greatest wonderful thing. Clayton Tune wasn't the answer last week. What do you do with Kyler Murray?
Let him play football. It's his job. Paying him to be your quarterback. Go play. There's no reason to sit there and tank. If you're bad, you're going to lose games. And this whole tanking narrative, this whole give up for next season it's a fungus, and it needs to go away in sport.
There's moves about the Lobos.
Exactly. Right? There's moves that you can make. Say, oh, you want to trade a second-round pick for a guy that you could sign for the same contract in the offseason? Go for it. Chicago. Oh, you want to send a pass rusher somewhere because you don't want to pay him next year? Let's do it. But there's a reason teams just don't trade quarterbacks because you think they don't have an elite quarterback. There's a reason that you just don't give up halfway through the season. There's jobs on the line. There's competitions. And there's culture. And if you start losing and if you're just giving up, it's one thing to be bad and just make a decision going, we just don't have the guys and lose games. It's another thing to willingly do that. And you don't come back from that in the sport of football. You can get away with it in basketball because you just need one dude. Yes. Not in football.
Yeah. All right. Washington Commanders. They ran Taylor Heineke out there. I'm sorry, not the Washington Commanders.
Last year.
That was last year. The Atlanta Falcons ran Taylor Heineke out there. Head coach Arthur Smith said yesterday that Taylor Heineke will start for his team against the Cardinals. So you'll get Taylor and Kyler this week. Quote, Taylor gives us the best chance with everything going on right now. End quote. He was 21 of 38 for 268, touchdown, interception. I don't think he was horrible. He won the reason they lost last week. Holy smokes. They got stunned at the end. Taylor Heineke, against the Cardinals, he a good gap option for you this week?
You need it. You shouldn't need it.
Well, There's a lot of quarterback roulette this week.
Justin
Fields may come back this week.
That's a team that is so hard to wrap your head around because I still look at Arthur Smith and I'm like, it just feels like you're underachieving, even with the quarterback throwing Desmond Ridder out there. But it's like you draft, and Drake London was out with a groin injury. It's like you draft Kyle Pitts in the first round. You draft Bijan Robinson in the first round. I'm like, they're not focal points to your offense. I just don't understand what he's doing.
I don't know what they're doing either. I really don't. Drake London, Bijan Robinson should be dynamic, and they're not. Hoser, you want to talk global football? Good morning, Josue.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Good morning.
I go back and forth between, it's time to move on or we just hang on to Danny because I don't know. I don't know how to figure that out as far as it's just so frustrating with all the different coaches that have come through the years. And just everybody seems to have a hard time here. And I don't know if this program is snake bit or what's going on. Or, I hear Danny talk about, we're close with recruits, but then you're getting beat by that much. And, if the offense is improved, we should see more from the offense, I would think. And then I think about the coaching staff. There's a lot of those guys that, when they started with Danny, they came from the high school ranks. So, I don't know if they're still finding their way or if he needs more support in that to get more assistants that have more experience. You can see it with Brian Vincent. He definitely has made a difference, but there's still that up and down, that lack of consistency on the offense. It's like, man, it's a head scratcher. So I don't know. A part of me wants to give Danny, not that I have the final say, but I like to see him hang around just because I know he's not looking to go somewhere else. He really wants to have success here and bring greatness to this program, and then just retire, I guess, or something. But it's just it's just confusing.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to win here more than that guy wants to win here. Like coaches all want to win, right? And no matter where you are, it's your job, it's your reputation, it's your ego, you're competitive, all those things, and. So I think no matter where Danny would be, whether it was San Diego State, Arizona State, or here, he wants to win. But I think the fact that here adds a little extra, I don't think anybody doubts his passion, right?
No. Shouldn't.
He wants to win here. Then you know what the numbers are, right? And so what do? He believes they're close. And there's times where I really believe they're close, and then you saw the other day. It's hard to say you're close and then get beat 56-14 at home, and look like that, and especially on special teams. It's that was the tough part. If they get beat the other day, if they got beat by that team, I don't know. Let's say 10 points, right? If they got beat 34-24 the other night, what kind of conversation do you think we're having?
It changes.
It does, right?
There's still the frustration of not turning that corner, but there is an element you can't keep telling yourself as a fan that this team is close when you have San Jose State second half, when UNLV just did that to you.
No, it's tough. It's tough. All right, keep them coming. 505-246-0610. If you want to listen to what Jerry Kill had to say, the New Mexico State coach was with us this morning at 7:15. They are playing Western Kentucky for a chance to get into. If the Aggies win this weekend, they will play in their conference championship game. They'll be in the conference. It'll be them at Liberty for the Conference USA Championship. But if you missed that or want to hear it again, it's over wherever you get your podcasts. SportsChannelABQ.com. It's there. Go to the opening drive, and it will be there. Hey, I'm going to totally swing things on you real quick. Have you watched any of the NBA tournament? The mid-season, in-season tournament. I know you guys are both way bigger NBA guys than I, especially November, December, January. Have you watched it?
Yeah, that was the NBA games that were on Friday night.
Yeah, what'd you think?
Tone down the courts a little bit.
Please.
It's hard to view some of the games. Like if you want to do different courts, I'm all about it. I don't like the
reds
entire court being colored. Maybe just do the center strip one color.
I'm glad you said it before I did.
Because I'm fine with trying different things in jerseys and courts. That is just physically hard to watch when it's just a bright red court on a TV.
Yeah, that's a total fail. What they need to do is all white or all green so they can put digital imaging on it.
You want all green court, all white court? Well,
Preferably
tell me
all white,
why.
Because that's how a camera
All
works.
right. So when I get marketing the jerseys, I get that. Oh, we're trying to sell jerseys. What is an all green, stupid, or all orange court with the stripe up the middle? Is that bringing new viewers in? Oh, wow, Dad, look at the court. I want to watch that. It looks like I'm watching a cartoon.
No, it's not about view. They wanted to just let you know that this is not a regular season game.
Okay.
That there's just something different going on.
All right. It's horrible. It's a horrible look.
Well, you don't hit a home run every time at the game.
No, fair enough. And I'm fine with them doing something different too. I think
this the total court being that's too much.
When
you're trying to watch it, it's not good.
And you know how I feel about watching games at Boise State. Like, I'm over the blue. It's a hard watch. It is. It's a hard. I'm not a big fan of the Eastern Washington all red. Like, I get what we're trying to do. It's our thing, and look at that. It's our brand. And Boise State. If I was on Boise radio right now, they'd be waiting somebody outside ready to kick my ass, right?
No, you'd be fired.
Yeah, I'd be fired because their image
the brand
about the blue. The blue. They're coming. The Lobos are going to the blue, right? I don't know. Do you like watching games on that?
It's difficult.
I think it's difficult too.
It's wild when you are walking somewhere and it throws your equilibrium off.
That's when JJ finally went on the field for the first time last year. First time I walked on the blue turf.
It's like, why would that do it? It does.
It's where it's just turf. You're walking down the stairs. You see it. And for but yet I stood on the blue. And for the first 10 to 15 seconds, my equilibrium was off.
Why is this so weird? Well, there's a reason birds killing themselves.
Flying dead on into it, thinking it's a lake.
Thinking it's a lake.
Yeah. Do you like watching games on the blue?
No, I do not. And especially with the Nuggets blue, I think they chose the color pattern from 8 years ago. I wish they would have done a different blue especially. But even if they changed it, I don't think I'd like it, to be honest.
Yeah. And it's not just because I'm conditioned to watching games on green. I can follow the ball. Like, the red is just, it's, I don't know, man. Green feels like the neutral color. And I wonder if we grew up watching this, if every team had a court. Have you seen San Jose State's new court? Their basketball court? It's like blue the whole way outside of the 3-point lane. It's almost like Cal State Bakersfields. Yeah. Remember Bakersfields? Try that. Bakersfields. Their court was all blue. So San Jose State's is all blue outside of the 3-point arches on both sides, and then it goes into a wood look.
For me, it would either be do the entire paint strip in the middle, which they did,
just keep the middle. I don't know that I would hate that,
or just do inside the 3-point line to differentiate. The entire court is it's hard for viewers, because I understand what the NBA is trying to do. Say, hey, it's a swing and a miss to have the entire court a solid color. That's just not good for viewership. And so next year you take that into account as you continue to try to build this and make it better.
Next step on that, did it do what you wanted it to do? Did those games feel different to you on Friday night? Did you pay more attention? Did you watch less football? Did the NBA matter more on Friday? For me, it did not. But I'm different than you guys are.
Well, it's only the first game. It's group play, so it's not like when you get down to it. When you're trying to win the group, when you advance to the knockout stages
group
of
games
it.
Are there 4, 3, 2, 1?
It's 8.
8 group games.
It's like round robin in your group, and then you advance forward. And I think the problem is, what is the extra incentive, as you're saying, for fans?
Yeah.
Like, is there a way?
Just because you tell me it's special and different, is it really special and different?
Because you need to try to start somewhere to build something. Mm-hmm. There's a reason that tournaments work in other sports that they do it.
Totally agree.
And people are happy and they're excited. But it's also.
But that's the nature of those sports. That's ingrained.
And so
sports.
you're trying to put a little more emphasis on the regular season, which is good, because we talk so much about how whether it's baseball, basketball, hockey, you can say you love the sport, but you get lost in the regular season.
Well, they're 6 months long.
Exactly. So you're just trying to find moments. And given the fact we've had one day, and we'll have tournament games tonight.
Are they tonight?
So they are Tuesday and Fridays.
Every Tuesday and Friday, so everybody's going to play from now on?
Those are your in-season tournament days.
Okay.
Well, they won't play today because it's election day. so they're not playing.
Well, they don't. We can't play on election day.
No, they're not.
All right, so all these games tomorrow. So I'm going to see the Knicks orange court. I'm going to see Houston's bright red court with the Lakers. And okay, I was curious, and it was on my list yesterday. I didn't get to you guys on this. So Golden State Denver's a tournament game, right? Tomorrow, it's in Denver. Is that right?
I don't know if that's a tournament game or not on a Wednesday.
See, that's the other game. Are they all, or they're not? Or
because it's Friday, like Tuesday, Friday is the nights they're saying these are going to be.
But we couldn't play this Tuesday because there were elections.
Yes.
Okay. Somehow the school board nominee is going to conflict if the Nuggets play Toronto. All right, I'm down. I kind of. I'm wondering if anybody else felt the same way. I watched it. I'm like, it turned me away from I was less apt to watch that than I was more apt. That was just me. Like DC, you said, man, it was hard to watch. It hurt my eyes. Now, it didn't literally hurt my eyes, but it wasn't a comfortable, fun watch for me. And so I'm like, yeah, I'm good. There's got to be a blowout college football game on for me to watch. But wasn't Colorado playing Friday night? No, that was Saturday night. There was somebody on Friday night that I watched. All right, 505-246-0610. You can send emails. Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com, JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. Adrian's producing on ProView Networks. We're on Comcast Channel 26. You can watch the show. There's always some video extras for you there. And when we come back, we will do the Red Zone. DC worked hard putting these together. Did I already steal one? I'm sorry. I just looked at it now. I apologize, dude. But there's all kinds of great stuff, like how concerned are you and who are your best players? And, well, we'll get into it when we come back. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal, your home for Sunday night and Monday night and Thursday night football.
This report.
It's a fake. They have a man. It's a conversion on the fake. It's complete out wide to the big tight end, David Butler. And it's a Rams first down.
It's tough.
I'll say he stepped out of bounds at the 15. Right back to it, and he is in. Touchdown for Charles Lopez Burton.
Rivas has some time. Josiah Mitchell, it's intercepted! Touchdown! It'll go the distance, and Jared Meechan.
Bunch formation to the left. Cabrera, the handoff. Cabrera's got some room. Up the middle of the 45-40. Foot race to the end zone. Cabrera trying to outrace the Matador secondary. Dash drug down, touchdown, I believe. That'll be a 70-yard touchdown run, and it is. Cabrera
right alongside. We expect to be a low-scoring game. Garcia has a lot of speed. Garcia is gone. Nobody gonna catch him. Touchdown Vikings. Daniel Garcia with breakaway speed.
Yeah. Brandon Olivas, see if he can get the same sort of magic. This time he looks to his right first, then he's looking to his left. He's gonna bomb this out there for Moorhead again! Jahari Moorhead! My goodness!
Kyle Evan Huss back to work on the option. He'll flip it out. Big time hole there. See you later. One play and to the house for Malachi Gutierrez. Hanson rolling. Pressure. It's coming from the side now. He's rolling. Goes down the field. Open man. Touchdown. Elijah Hanson connects.
And That will be blocked up front, picked up, and I think we've got ourselves a return for a touchdown. Jace Henderson, the sophomore, has a million.
I don't know if I could have done that or not. Remember all those signals to give the quarterback. Rivera throws over the middle. Good. Intercepted. Guess Third who that is. There's Megan Posa. Guess who that Megan is. Posa. Posa down the right side. Still on his feet down the left side now. Cuts it back up to Haas. Posa may score. Posa still on his feet. Dragging a tackler to the end zone. Dives in. Touchdown, I believe. Let's see. Touchdown. That has to be a Megan touchdown. Posa.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
You ever take the air sprayer to the computer keyboard and then stuff pops up and you realize, whoa, this is a community keyboard. I don't want to know what's popping up out of there? You ever do that? All right, let me get this straight. So they can play 15 games on Christmas, but they can't play on Election Day when the polls close by 7 in every state. Is that right? The NBA?
Well, I mean,
I'm just asking.
Everyone can vote. Not everyone celebrates Christmas.
But not everybody votes.
They have that option.
They do have that right. Well, everybody has the option to celebrate Christmas. Just asking.
Does it really matter? You weren't watching it anyway.
You're 100% right. You're right. I wasn't watching anyway. All right, 505-246-0610 if you want to get in today here on the opening drive. Last night, Chargers beat the Jets. The Jets' offense was BAD. And not that the Chargers' offense was all that great, but they did get 2 Austin Eckler touchdowns. I don't know if you knew that. And beat the Jets 27-6. That leads us into our Tuesday edition of In the Red Zone.
How much you want to make a bet I can throw a football over the mountains?
Are you crazy? I'm saying you're a football player.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to Tom Brady this game.
You're in the Red Zone with Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Let's go, baby!
It's first and goal.
Well, the injury bug hit Cincinnati again. After practice yesterday, Cincinnati Bengals Jamar Chase made comments about his back injury that has fantasy owners and Bengals fans equally concerned. Chase said, "I'm just going to support my teammates, man. Let those guys do what they got to do. Only thing I can do is get healthy for the team." So how concerned are you for Jamar Chase in fantasy, and what does this mean for the Bengals in reality moving forward?
I mean, it's got to be real. That's one of those injuries when it happened. Were you watching the game when it happened? Chris Collinsworth, who is a former really good receiver, said, "You guys don't know how much that hurts. When you land like that, on the middle of your back. He says, just don't call, what did he say? Don't call him tomorrow morning early. He's not getting out of bed early. I mean, it's one of those where, you know, a guy who's done it for you and I, we watch 1,000 guys go down a week and you don't think about it. But the fact that they're holding him out, that he's limited. Yeah, I'm a little concerned. That's one of those, man. If you had a bad back stink, especially when your job is to catch ball and get hit.
Well, if you're a fantasy owner, you're very concerned for this week. I have zero concern for the Bengals. You break stub bone, you're breaking your ribs. It's your football player that is going to be sore. Yeah. Maybe it costs you a week. The Bengals are going to be fine offensively because they got Joe Burrow.
And T. Higgins and Tyler.
Second and goal.
Yeah. In Chicago, we saw the Bears sign defensive end Montez Sweat to a 4-year, $96 million deal. We were wondering why they made the trade with Washington last week, and with this move, we apparently got our answer. So what does this do for the future of the Bears defense this year and moving forward into the 24 season?
We didn't get our answer. Well, you could have done the same thing in the offseason and saved a second-round pick. You're telling me Montez Sweat wouldn't have signed if you offered him $100 million? Like, I get he's a really good defensive end, but he is not changing the face of your defense. And so you give him $100 million plus giving up a second-round pick. That's just not good front office management from the Bears, because that's back-to-back seasons you trade a second-round pick. Now they actually got a much better player than they did last year with Chase Claypool. This just still doesn't make sense to me.
I think it's a reach, man. I just think it's a reach. I think Montez Sweat is good. I don't know that he's the difference maker. He's a really good piece. But to JJ's point, they obviously knew that's where he wanted to be, right? They knew they didn't give up a second to rent a guy for a team that's horrible. They knew he was going to sign a long-term deal, right? Whether it was with his agent, whether it was him, they knew. And so why not wait this thing out and then just go into the offseason? Would it have cost them a few more bucks? It may have, but they would have kept their second-round pick. What does it tell you? I don't know that it tells me a whole lot about their defense going forward, but I agree with JJ on this. Why? And we said why. Yeah, they signed him and they knew they were going to sign him, but is it worth giving up your second? And I think the answer is no for a bad team.
Third and goal.
All right, now that Week 9 is in the books, who are your offensive and defensive players of the week?
My offensive player of the week is Joshua Dobbs. And it's not all based on stats. I mean, you're going to give me somebody that had better stats. And I know you will, and you might be right. But I mean, just the way he led that team coming in on Wednesday, Thursday, whatever it was, and having just one practice and sticking around for 5 hours and leading that team back. My offensive player of the week is Joshua Dobbs. And I think my defensive player of the week is Joey Bosa. 2 sacks last night and just wreaking havoc. And I thought he was the difference last night in completely destroying whatever the Jets were doing offensively.
I like your thought process on Dobbs. My offensive player of the week is Austin Eckler for his 2 touchdowns against the Jets defense. No, it's CJ Stroud. It's CJ Stroud.
That's fair, and that's the number.
Dobbs, I like where you went with it with Dobbs.
Yeah, and was Stroud was the easy one.
Yeah, Stroud. It's easy. Yeah. It's a low hanging fruit, but he also it's not just he's the first rookie to do that. He's one of the 6th player in NFL history,
and that's the right answer.
The game like that, but I love Dobbs, man. He only had 1 full practice, and he just won an NFL game at a position we say it's the hardest to figure out, and everything we've seen with quarterback play this season.
Your answer's right. Your answer's right. I want to think differently. Who you got in defense?
Defense is Colts cornerback Kenny Moore.
That's nice. No, with the two pick
sixes. 2 pick sixes, 7 solo tackles.
Yeah.
2 passes defended.
Yeah.
He was the leading receiver for Bryce Young.
Well, and it was the difference in the game. Yeah.
And that would be the correct answer.
Yeah. His answers are right.
4th and goal.
Did I stutter? Beer me.
All right, since we're halfway through the regular season, let's talk fantasy studs and duds. All right, who is the biggest fantasy surprise player for you guys this year?
First half of the season, it's not a surprise because you had to be honest, Puka Nacua.
That's easy, right? I mean, it was Puka Nacua.
Yeah. He won multiple games for early in the season if you were able to jump on that train for a few weeks.
I'm going to give you one. And one that you were sitting here scratching your head about the other day and just going, I don't know. It's Sam Howell.
Yeah.
I mean, you're Jeff. They stink. Whatever. Do you know Sam Howell is second in the league in passing yards? It would have taken you 15 days to tell me Sam Howell was number 2. I said 2 is number 1 in passing yards. Who's number 2? You wouldn't have got to Sam Howell. So yeah, Puka Nacua is the right answer, but Sam Howell is just as right.
But I don't know how many people played him enough.
I do.
No, when he had the 30-point games.
Yeah. Well, fair enough.
Because he's the 7th highest scoring quarterback in fantasy football.
Yeah. The other one is Rashee Rice because he scores touchdowns. And maybe Zach Moss because Jonathan Taylor came back and Zach Moss is still doing it.
That's a good one. I like that. All right, so what about your biggest fantasy bust so far?
Yeah, I mean, do injuries matter? Do injuries count?
Yeah. You have to factor him in because you're not getting points.
I mean, Jonathan Taylor's got to be the number 1, right?
I don't think he went that high.
How about Aaron Rodgers? I picked him.
But you've got Rodgers still the 9th or 10th round.
You know who's not a great fantasy quarterback? Lamar. Got me 3 points this week in that 1-point loss.
He's the 5th highest scoring fantasy quarterback this season.
Really?
Yes.
Not that good.
You're just.
I'm bitter today. No, I'm flat out. I've been reading our emails and I've been eating lemonades and I'm bitter.
It's any running back you drafted in the first round not named Christian McCaffrey. So Austin Eckler, Bijan Robinson.
Bijan, yeah.
Guys that you invested in, Eckler, missed time because he was hurt.
Alexander Madison. I think people thought he was going to jump up and take over and be Dalvin Cook, and he's not.
Yeah, he was held over in my league.
No, a lot of people jumped on Alexander Madison early and thought that he was going to be the guy. Dameon Pierce, another guy, went really high in a lot of drafts, and people are like, wait, what happened? Why Dameon Pierce? Austin Eckler, to your point, isn't killing it. Jonathan Taylor, yeah. Miles. How about Miles Sanders?
Dude, I told you.
Yeah, I know you did. I know
Come on.
you did.
You can't invest in running backs in fantasy football.
You have to have one or two.
Usually. Okay. All right, let's try this. Who do you expect to be the second half sleeper?
Ooh, all right. Can I sit on the same guy I've been sitting on since day one? Rashee Rice. Is he not a sleeper anymore?
No, he is. If coming out of the bye,
yeah,
that dude needs to be running wide receiver 1 routes.
Okay.
They still are using a rotation in Kansas City. And it is ridiculously frustrating because all Rashee Rice is a wide receiver 3 still, when he has the upside to be a wide receiver 2 or wide receiver 1.
I think he's earning his way into that. I'll give you a couple of guys. Tank Dell.
That could be an interesting
Noah
one.
Brown. I mean, the way you love you some C.J. Stroud, right? And I got
Tank Dell.
Any of the receivers?
He's on rosters and he should be flexible at this point in time. I think Noah Brown. You're chasing that.
Okay.
Not having a game like that the rest of the season.
All right.
Let's go to the last one. Who is the one player you expect to be on the most championship rosters at the end of the year?
Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah. Ooh.
Oh, but you went running back. Look at you. Running backs don't matter, but you went running
Tyreek Hill.
Okay. All right. Are we late now?
There's one running back. CMC.
We're running late. That's Red Zone. Great stuff, dude. DC puts these together every day, and they're so good. They're just so good, man. You add so much to this program. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you being here and doing what you do. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal, your home for Sunday night and Monday night and Thursday night football.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated,
Rip,
plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Rosendo Najar here, president of Carpenters Local 1319.
Juan Junior Gonzalez, warden of Local 1319. Some people have a misconception about what a carpenter does.
The carpentry trade entails more than just woodworking or building houses. We are responsible for 85% of a construction job site. Everything from the superintendent on down. We have a great apprenticeship program. Information can be found on our website.
Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. We do research for knowledge of each pet, so you can trust Clark's Pets to provide you the best products and service for your pets, because we work hard to understand all of their needs. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Red Zone. Chargers beat the Jets last night. Lobos were winners of the Pit. Both men and women beat Texas Southern. Men 92-55. Ladies 79-56 to open the season. 505-246-0610. Rudy, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hello, Rudy.
Good morning. That was a pretty nice night in the Pit.
Yeah.
The girls, a little choppy, but they got it together. And I like Nia Wilson. I think she's going to be something special. What was she, JJ, 4-4 from three-point?
Yes, she was.
Well, I mean, you can't do much better than 1,000%. As for the men, I'm going to preface this by saying I've been watching Lobo basketball since 1960. And I've had the honor and privilege of knowing every head coach. And this team, if they can stay together and play with the effort that they played last night, can be really something special. And I think they're determined to defend the Pit. They didn't like those 3 losses. And I'll never forget the 41-game win streak that we had under Coach Bliss with Kenny Thomas and Clayton Shields and those guys. I mean, we did not lose.
Yep.
That was our motto. We do not lose in the Pit. So you do that, and now we're going to find out just how good we are, because I don't know if you saw the eye-opener score from St. Mary's last night.
You're going to find out pretty quick. What was the final last night?
120 to 101 to 28.
That's it.
They beat Stanislaus State, but Stanislaus State had taken Nevada down to the wire and lost, I think, 84 to 80. So I don't know what St. Mary's rolled out last night, but that's going to get your attention, isn't it?
Yeah, I imagine.
and you know they don't want to lose to us 2 years in a row.
107-28. It was 50 to 11 at halftime.
Yeah,
Holy
I mean it was
smokes.
just I don't know how much you get out of those games as a St. Mary's team, but obviously everybody felt good and they ran up and down the court and they scored a ton of points. So here we go. I mean, right off the bat, two teams that a lot of people are calling elite teams in non-Power 5 are going to square off Thursday night, and it's going to tell us a lot about this team and how together they really are. But, you know, I really liked the bench and how they played. Forsling looked like a basketball player, which is great. We're going to need him. The guy that just keeps impressing me is Quentin Webb. To sit on the bench and have that much talent last year and believe in the coach enough that you come back, I think that guy's going to be something else. You know, he reminds me a little bit of Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's a fair comparison.
body type, and he's a lot bigger than I thought. JJ said to me last night, and Rudy, thanks for the call. Appreciate you.
Sure.
You said last night, boy, they probably could have helped him last year, huh?
Yeah, it's an incredible athlete. And this is a guy that just physically he looked that way last year. Just a grown man as a freshman. And now he has a year of conditioning under his belt, D1 expectations, and he's playing 10 to 12 minutes a game, blocking a shot, getting a steal. Solid.
Yeah, Lobos at St. Mary's on Thursday. St. Mary's beat Stanislaus State 107-28. Also in that league, San Francisco beat Bethesda 128-59. You come back, I'll get you all the Mountain West scores. How'd your league do? Aggies lost on the road 86-46 at 16th ranked Kentucky. They were in Rupp Arena. Any surprises in the Mountain West last night? Maybe one. I don't know if it was a huge surprise, but I'll get you all the scores and what your league looks like today, tomorrow, yesterday. Got some openers today as well. Opening drive. Be a part of the show at 505-246-0610. Very much appreciate you spending some time with us today and every day on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal, your home for Sunday night and Monday night and Thursday night football.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, rip, plastered, taint, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh? I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom. Sweet? Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom! Boom!
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us, and my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Don't sacrifice quality.
Three-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Sparks that ignite to my intros, tempo to flow, might as well just blow.
Hoop season opened up here in the Bookgate and around the nation last night on the college side. Lobos win in the pit. The men 92-55 over Texas Southern. The ladies here on these Sports Animals 79-56 over Texas Southern. New Mexico State men on the road were within 8 at halftime in Rupp Arena against 16th ranked Kentucky and lose 86-46. So next up, ladies will be in Malibu to play Pepperdine on Thursday. Lobo men will be in Moraga, California to play ranked St. Mary's on Thursday. They won, what did I just give you, 107-20 something or something silly? And then the Aggies will get home and they'll play Sol Ross to open up the home season. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. JJ, I looked around the Mountain West yesterday. Interesting openers. San Diego State coming off of their appearance in the national championship game, 17th ranked in the country, opened up at home in Viejas against Cal State Fullerton. It was nervous at halftime, 37-35. Aztecs were up by 2. Had a big second half, 83-57. They beat the Titans. Jaden Ledee had 27 for the Aztecs.
Yeah, it was, when you're watching that game in the first half, just a tight game. Cal State Fullerton had a bunch of energy to end the first half, got a turnover, big dunk, and then San Diego State settled in, did their thing at home, defended, ran away with it.
You're looking at schedules, and San Diego State's will be interesting. They've got some interesting ones coming up. They get BYU. When's the 10th? What's today's date? 7th. So they play 7, 8, 9. Friday night they play BYU on the road. And then after Long Beach State, St. Mary's goes to Viejas. Then they get Cal. Also on their schedule, Grand Canyon, it's Stanford, and then a game at Gonzaga right before they open up league play. Aztecs play a schedule this year, huh?
Yes, they do.
Also in the Mountain West last night, Utah State opened up at home. 101-48, they beat South Dakota Mines, 101-48. Air Force at home played Portland State. Air Force was the only Mountain West team to lose last night. Portland State beat the Falcons 62-55. Colorado State struggled, but won. They were losing at halftime to Louisiana Tech at a Conference USA. It was 34-33 at halftime. And then Joel Scott helped the Rams pull away. He had 18 points. 81-73, the Rams win. And Fresno State opened up at the Save Mart Center, played Fresno Pacific, even though Fresno is not really on the Pacific. They're in the Pacific time zone, I guess. 70. You've been to Fresno. It's not near the ocean.
Nope. Like, where are we? We're somewhere in California.
Right
it's
in
Fresno.
the middle of that valley, man. 77-66, Fresno State beat Fresno Pacific. Tonight, any interesting ones? Wyoming plays Northern New Mexico. Boise State plays Vanguard. San Jose State and UC Irvine, and Nevada opens up with Sacramento State. And then you'll start getting some interesting ones. UNLV will open with Southern. Thursday, boy, that Bethesda might as well join the league. Just starting to look for when Bradley's interesting. Utah State plays Bradley on Saturday. And I'm just starting to look for some interesting matchups. When do we start getting some? There's a good one. On Sunday, Boise State will play San Francisco. Nevada on the road at Washington. That's on Sunday. Those are good. And then you'll get into next week, and we're going to start seeing some interesting matchups in the Mountain West, and you'll start figuring out how the league is and where you're going and those sorts of things. But we're off and running in college basketball now. 505-246-0610. That's how to get here. 505-246-0610. I said St. Mary's plays at San Diego State. I was wrong. Let me correct that for you. That game will be at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas as part of the Continental Tire main event. So St. Mary's, San Diego State, which, by the way, next Friday night should be a premier game, right? How's that just on ESPN Plus? How does that not get aired somewhere? I mean,
because it's Friday. Football's football.
Wow. 23rd St. Mary's, 17th San Diego State. San Diego State was in the national championship game. That's in Vegas. I mean, that doesn't that feel like a premier game to you?
It's a very good basketball game.
505-246-0610. The big upset in college basketball last night was in East Lansing, Michigan. James Madison. Must have been a couple other dudes, too. It wasn't just him. They beat fourth-ranked Michigan State in East Lansing, 79-76 in overtime. It is the first time since 2001 that an AP top 5 team lost its season opener at home to an unranked opponent. Western Kentucky beat Kentucky back in 2001. Izzo entered the game with a 21-7 record in opener. So you'd think it would be way better than that. Kind of crazy, huh? James Madison. What's going on there? I mean,
first ever top 10 win.
Yep.
James Madison.
Second ever versus a ranked team. The first since 1992. Is that right?
Got it done in overtime. Michigan State 1 of 20 from 3.
Defense, baby. See what defense does for you. It's all about the defense. Yeah, it's pretty incredible. It's pretty insane. All right. Football last night, Monday Night Football. Chargers shut down the Jets. Frustrated Zach Wilson. What are the... You're the Jets. And you know, we had a call earlier. Marty called about Lobo football. You're not trying to win anymore. Yeah, you are. I think every time you get on the field, you're trying to win. Mm-hmm. What do they do to try to win games? There's nowhere to go.
There's nothing else they can do.
Zach Wilson is their guy.
It's like you have a really good defense, and you keep your fingers crossed that they can figure out something offensively. And this is a Chargers team that they have not been this good defensively.
No,
Joey Bosa hasn't been doing that this season. And he just lit up the Jets' offensive line. And you want to play clean, complementary football. And you didn't get that from the offense. Like, the Jets need to be, like, their goal is, like, let's score a touchdown, kick a couple field goals, and try to win this game 13-10.
Yeah, but you got to score.
And you're not going to win that way constantly in the NFL. You're going to compete. You'll grind your way as they are right now, 4-4. But you're taking the Chargers the rest of the season with their potential overall versus the Jets. Easy.
I'm struggling putting this all on Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson was sacked 8 times. He didn't throw an interception. Now he's got to hold on to the football. The Jets ran the ball for 64 yards. Outside of Zach Wilson, they ran it for 57 yards. They've got to run the ball better. And it's hard to do that when the other team says, well,
you can't
throw. But he threw the ball 49 times. 33 for 49. 263 yards. Like, it's hard for me to sit here and say it's all about him. Garrett Wilson fumbled the ball, right?
Yeah.
It's hard for me to sit here and just totally place blame on Zach Wilson. Now, that's not me telling you he's great, he's a good. They have a lot of problems. They got 99 problems, and that dude just is one. You know what I'm saying? I mean, do you blame that all on Zach Wilson last night?
You don't blame it all on Zach Wilson, but he gives you no upside.
I mean,
you know that at this point in time. Like, there's other teams with quarterbacks that you're talking yourself into liking more than Zach Wilson.
Sam Howell?
Well, we're well past that with what we've seen. But it's he doesn't need time anymore. He's been there. And they can't spark anything offensively. And for him, it was the fumbles, it's the pressure. But you realize that there's certain quarterbacks in this league that are not going to be able to elevate or play through problems. And Zach Wilson is not one of those guys. Like, if they're running the football, playing good defense, you're good. But if they're like, oh, it's a challenging game, we need you, Zach, you're not getting that.
Yeah. Zach Wilson fumbled the ball 3 times last night. They lost 2 of them. Garrett Wilson fumbled it once. They lost that. They were driving. The last one killed him. But they both did. I'm struggling just putting the whole blame on him. But to your point, you're right. I mean, he's just got to be better. All right, 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610.
Why do you think everyone is so just crazy? Like, Aaron Rodgers is walking? Yeah. Aaron Rodgers just threw a football?
Yeah, but they're going to be out of it by then. I mean, even if he's able to come back for the last 3. Even if then. Where are they getting wins? They can beat the Raiders, or can they? I don't know. The Raiders look like a different team. The Bills, they've already beat the Bills.
They look like a different team against the Giants.
No, okay, fair.
They can beat the Raiders.
They can beat the Raiders, or the Raiders can beat them.
No, the Jets can beat the Raiders.
Or the Raiders can beat them. You don't think the Raiders can beat them?
Not with Aiden O'Connell.
Why not?
Because that's a good defense. I think Aiden O'Connell's going to look like Zach Wilson against the Jets defense.
So the bet's the under, is what you're telling me. What do you think that spread is? Raiders, Jets. By the way, you get that on prime time on Sunday Night Football.
I can't believe they didn't flex that. It's unbelievable.
That is unbelievable. What do you think that is?
36.5.
That's exactly the number. What do you think the spread is?
Jets. 1.5.
Exactly. Dude, he is BetMGM. Like, he literally is Bet. Oh, by the way, I was over at Zleta Sports Book last night. They had their launch party for BetMGM. It's so nice. Have you been to that sports book?
I have not.
We're going to have Carl, their general manager, on, I think, at some point this week to talk about what it means and answer some of the questions. And there'll be an informational session because so many of you have been asking about, is it going to the app? Are we going to be able to bet mobile? And does that mean? And with BetMGM. And I want to get some of that info out there. But it was really, really nice. I will take the Raiders at 1.5. That'll be one of my 3-for-alls. I thought the Raiders looked so inspired to play football the other day. Like, all of a sudden, they enjoyed themselves again. I don't know, Raider fan, are like, maybe I'm ridiculous on that. Maybe I'm going over. Yeah, they play the Giants. All right, I want to get into the Raiders, and I want to get into rookie quarterbacks. Is Bryce going backwards? C.J. Stroud took huge steps. What about the number 1 overall pick? 505-246-0610. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The sports animal, your home for Sunday night and Monday night and Thursday night football.
In flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
For surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
Sports Animal.
And I think we all agree C.J. Stroud is the best quarterback coming out of last year's draft, right?
Yes.
And will be. He's terrific. 5 touchdowns, 470 yards the other day. Who's the second best? Will it be Will Levis? Will it be the number 1 pick, Bryce Young? Will it be Anthony Richardson, who was hurt? That's set to be seen. Is Bryce Young going backwards? You talked earlier about the 2 Kenny Moore interception returns. Carolina went down 27-13. After the game, their head coach, Frank Reich, called it, quote, a step backwards, end quote, for his young quarterback. For the offense as a whole. Said he never thought about pulling Young from the game, though, because the learning process, it happens. So is he going backwards? Is he going to be? He looks, JJ, he doesn't look like an NFL quarterback sometimes. Not just doesn't look like the number 1 overall pick. Sometimes he doesn't look like an NFL quarterback.
Well, physically, he's small.
He's small.
He's a small dude. And even with Anthony Richardson going on the IR, and Colts fans feel better about Anthony Richardson in their future, just knowing the potential he has with his athletic ability. You mentioned Will Levis has already thrown 4 touchdowns and won an NFL game in his first ever start in the league. And I'm looking at Bryce Young, and I don't think there's an elite ceiling for him. And you want to at least have that potential when you pick a player number 1 overall. And I don't think there's an elite ceiling with Bryce Young. I can see that with C.J. Stroud. Heck, I could even see Anthony Richardson being a Josh Allen light in this league if everything clicks the way it goes. But I don't see that with Bryce Young. And you know what? It screams to me when I watch him play. Like, if you can get to this point, it's Baker Mayfield.
I almost think that'd be a success at this point. You know, there was a lot of talk, the reason C.J. Stroud, so a Rick Meyer, that was a real conversation. Like, you can go back throughout all these, really all the hours that you spent listening to Mel Kiper going back and forth. We're kind of getting to that right now, aren't we?
Yes. Like, Houston is like, thank you for making the wrong choice. Because they did.
1,000%. Yeah. All right. Lobos were winners last night. Opened the regular basketball season, or the regular season on the basketball court. Women won 79-56 in the first game over Texas Southern. The men beat Texas Southern 92-55. Mud, you want to talk about the Lobos? Good morning, Mud.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. Yes, what an awesome display of talent, great coaching also. I expect them to go far. I don't know if I see a couple of things on Twitter, X, saying that they're going to be 5-14. I don't know. We'll see if they keep on playing like they did last night. They had rebounding. They played defense. They had steals, they had blocks in the offense. They shot the ball good. They took their players to the hole and slam dunks and all this and good layups. What I was proud I seen Forsling, he's actually doing better this year. Also, I like the big guys, man. That's my type of basketball is the big guys, and I really enjoyed it. And I think it's going to be fun to watch them this year. Yep. And Jalen House and Mashburn, they're going to be off the charts, man. So go Lobos, and we'll see them on Thursday. I wish that game was on regular ESPN, man. That's another marquee matchup.
Where's that game?
That should be on TV, but oh well.
All right, Mud.
We'll see something.
Yeah,
Thanks.
Well, thanks. Where's that game? Is it on Plus?
I believe so.
All right. So it's available if you have ESPN Plus. Gopher says, why isn't an all-new NMSU playing Texas Southern and a powerful Lobo basketball making $110,000 to play at Kentucky? Jeff? That's how they schedule it, man. I mean, New Mexico State went, I think they made $110,000 to go play at Rupp Arena yesterday. And they got beat by 40. This one, Dan is in on, I believe, football strength of schedule. Well, that can't be right because there's not 150. See, this one, you got to fact check things. Jeffrey, Juan Jose, and Devontae Craig. What's up, Devontae Craig? Aggie's strength of schedule is 155. That's why they aren't bowl worthy. By the way, Lobo football hasn't played killers either. There's the 124. There's 133 FBS teams. How can they be 155? Sometimes I got to fact check a little bit. There was 133 FBS teams. How can their strength of schedule be 155 out of 133? It's that bad? It's that bad it's underwater. They're 22 worse than there are teams. Okay. All right. 505-246-0610. Ken, good morning to you.
Good morning. Besides the obvious from last night's game, which was very impressive, just the hustle and all that was just obvious. Kind of just digging a little deeper, this team is full of alphas. These are like transfers that are used to starting. They're NCAA experienced. You would think there might be some chemistry issues, but there's just not. And that so far. And that is a tribute to what Pitino's doing here. It's amazing how he builds chemistry. Everybody's going to share the minutes. There is nobody that we know of so far that's disgruntled. People come in, they get their 5-6 minutes, then they come out. But those 5-6 minutes are very, very productive. The second thing that I've noticed, and finally, is when Appleham comes in, he hasn't played pretty much the whole game, but they all have a green light. I think Pitino's going to get upset if Appleham does not shoot the ball. So Appleham has, a foot, 2 feet of space, and he's putting it up. So there's nobody playing tentatively, scared, overlooking, their shoulder, turning, I better do something, and they play nervous. Everybody knows their role. Everybody's got a green light to shoot, and the chemistry is what is really amazing me right now. Because, like I said, these are all alphas, man. They're used to starting. They're used to winning. They want to have a huge role on this team, and you would think that's potentially an issue, a big issue.
So far it's not.
But that's not what's happening so far. So that's what's impressed me so far.
Appreciate you, Ken. Thanks. It's early. So a couple things. I think everybody's got a free reign when you're up by 30. And I think they're looser. Let's see what happens when there's a little adversity, when it's a little tighter. The St. Mary's game should be a little different. But I agree with him from what I saw, JJ, on the cohesiveness that they played with. I thought Nelly Jr. Joseph's going to get more comfortable. He's the one guy, and he's the guy who's been there for a week and a half, right? Everybody else has been here. I thought he's the one guy that maybe looked a little out of flow, if that's even right. But I thought everybody else, it felt like this was working pretty well. And there's a lot of new guys, whether it's Mushila, Amzil, the 2 freshmen, whoever it is, Baker. I thought they looked pretty cohesive for a first game, and understanding they didn't play St. Mary's last night, but they played a decent SWAC. Well, they played a good SWAC team. I agree with him on the cohesiveness.
His point on the confidence is right on, because he said the players aren't looking over their shoulder, but Rich Pitino isn't hiding that if you don't do what's expected, you're on that bench. And so you have to have confidence. You have to believe in yourself. All right, you make a mistake, but you're not done for the night. And that's what you saw with the rotation. Because it happened early. It wasn't just players getting in the game late when it was a blowout. They played 11 players in the first half. And so there's that commitment to it of go hard, play hard, understanding that even if you do sit down, your night's not done, you're going to be right back in there, get in that rotation, and there's certain games you're going to be able to get away with that. And it's going to benefit this team. And then you get in a tighter contest and you lock into the lineups that you need on the floor. That is good coaching. That's a quality of a solid roster, because these guys are hungry and they're going to be battling each other for these minutes. And if you're playing with that intensity, that style of play, you can work those guys in a lot of games this year.
All right, when we come back, evidence that football fan bases are essentially the same. I'm going to show you why there are at least four, maybe 5 fan bases in the Mountain West right now that are all screaming the same thing. Insert coach's name here, and why they're all the same, and maybe they're all justified in your mind, but why they're all the same. That's coming up when we return on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal, your home for Sunday night and Monday night and Thursday night football. Hey, the time to take your home or business security for granted. Call IPS, International Protective Service. I did years ago. They watch my home. I trust IPS. It's comforting to see Officer Crespin come by every day. Keeps the bad guys away. IPS was started years ago by Aaron Jones up in the Fort Hills area. Now IPS provides standing guards and armed patrols. They also install alarms, and cameras to record criminal activity and smart technology to control access to your facility. At IPS, they monitor your systems. And when they see something suspicious, they send someone out to check it out. Armed, trained security officers. It's a winning combination to prevent you from being victimized. Call them, see what they can do for you. It is affordable, private security. The number is 505-897-2420, 505-897-2420, or online at ipsglobal.com. Passionate about your security.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Here, I'll just say X for every time, and then you guess what fan base this is. The X train wreck left the station weeks ago. Many more transfers coming. Fire X. Beginning of the end. X has to go now. Yeah, with all the fans talking negative about the players, I'm sure that didn't help either. Way to go, negative fans. That's embarrassing. X's decision really reveals the trouble in the program. Time for our school to go back to... this is so funny to me. Time for our school to go back to FCS. Those days were better. You had a local and regional rivalries. Our school got too big for its britches. Go back to those days. I don't know. What fan base? You know what it is. Do you see any idea what fan base in the Mountain West that was coming from?
I'm guessing the University of New Mexico.
How about Boise State? So there was a story that came out yesterday. Their best receiver, Eric McAllister, transferred. He had a big game against Fresno State the other day, and it came out yesterday he's entering the portal. And there's been a lot of talk about how he's been recruited, and look, he's going to go get better at NIL, and he's gone. And that's his option. He's allowed to go. It's always unfortunate. A guy leaves middle of the season, and he's gone.
He's not going to go play immediately somewhere else.
No, he loses the rest of this year.
So that's to me, that says more about the player than the program.
How about Boise? Now, Boise State is 4-5. They lost their opener to Washington. They got bumped. Washington is potentially going to the college football playoff. They lost their other 4 games by 12 points. Last-second losses to Memphis and UCF, and that Hail Mary to Colorado State. And then they got beat by 7 by Fresno the other day. The fans there, all that was about Andy Avalos. Andy Avalos has to go. How about the one, JJ, we need to go back to the Big Sky?
It was more fun in the Big Sky.
We need to go back to the Big Sky. So
know.
my point in reading those to you is, I'm not even sure, but all fan bases are the same. San Diego State want their board's same thing. Fire Brady Hoke. San Jose State started out 1-5. Fire Brent Brennan. He's horrible. You've heard what's going on here about Danny, right? I mean, fire Andy Avalos. Every fan base believes that they should never lose a game. Now, maybe that's a little stretching it here, that you don't feel they should ever lose a game. Blake Anderson's under pressure at Utah State. It's hard to win. The other dudes have scholarships and budgets and NIL and training staffs. It's hard. And this whole we should never lose to whoever. I sometimes wonder who are any of these fan bases to say that, right? But I read you that Boise State set a standard. Did they get too big for their britches? Is their standard too high? Is their standard unattainable or unsustainable?
No.
So they should be competing for Fiesta Bowls on a regular basis?
I don't think when you've had that success, that level of investment, that 5 wins at this point shouldn't be ridiculously frustrating if you're 5 losses.
Sometimes you're going to have a bad year.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're
but I don't think that means fire Andy Avalos. I'm not there yet. But they, year in, year out, think that they should be in the conference championship race, which would then put them in that conversation.
And I'm going to go to the phones. I'm going to go back to 2008 for a second. Okay? Lobos had been bowl eligible, was it right, for about 7 years in a row. Correct? They had just beaten Colin Kaepernick in Nevada in the New Mexico Bowl in 2007, 23-0. And I remember asking before the season started, had Rocky Long done enough to earn a down season? They went 4-8 that year, lost 6 games by 1 possession. That was the damn fans. People were sick of it. We need to get rid of Rocky Long. Okay, you got what you wanted. How's it been ever since?
I think the issue with this conversation is in sport, and I would say it's a collective because it's a way fans react. It's a way that the narratives as a whole move on.
Mm-hmm.
We, as a collective, don't know what to do if you don't fire someone. Well, they're like, well, you just lost 7 games this year. If you bring the same people back, how are you going to get better? Like, to your point, there's no such thing as, hey, you just had a bad year. You're just down. It doesn't mean everything's...
We should never lose to that school.
It doesn't mean everything's broken.
Right.
It doesn't mean you're not going to win next year. But fans, and I'm calling this all out too. Like, they don't know what to do. If they're not screaming to fire someone, they think, oh, you're just getting complacent.
So
and when you get complacent, you're going to lose. No, sometimes you just have a bad year. I don't think Andy Avalos is going to lose 5 games the rest of his Boise State career every year.
Is Tom Izzo on the hot seat because they lost to James Madison last time? Michigan State ranked 4th in the country. They lost at home to James Madison. People calling for his head today? I'll bet there are. He's too old. He's lost his program. How can we lose?
It's always just got to be, boom.
Yeah.
Like, this has to change. No, you just lost. You can move on. It happens.
See, because every game, someone wins and someone loses. And if you're not going to, why play a game if it's a guarantee? Jay, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hello, Jay.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
Pretty good. As long as there's not a fired Devontae Carr there, side coming up, we're good.
No doubt, man. Devontae Carlos needs to be safe. I agree with you.
So, I was listening, and I've been listening for the last few weeks about this whole who has New Mexico State beaten, and
All right.
and this And I promised myself I'm not going to call about this.
I'm not going to bite. I'm not going to bite. I'm not going to bite.
And today I just decided to just run some numbers. And if you are a G5 program, there are 61 G5 programs. 35 of them have losing records. Why is that? Because most of those G5 programs have to go on the road and play a Power 5 program.
Right. They have to play in their conference. Yeah.
Right. They have to play. They have to play out of conference programs on the road, in hostile environments, etc. So, of course, if you're going to schedule other G5 programs, you're going to have a losing record. That's just the nature of football. You only have 12 games.
All right.
And you know this as a bowl director, the reason why there are not enough bowl teams or over 500 bowl teams is for that reason. You know, you look at Power 5 programs, there's 68 of those, and 28 of them have losing records.
Yep.
And there are about 12 to 15 that are in danger, that are at 500 and could very easily slip into that less than 500 realm. So this conversation is so patently annoying and stupid.
Yes.
And I wish to God that people would just open up one of the windows on their computer,
and throw it away.
Look at records, look at schedules, and just think and just use a skill called critical thinking.
Jay, nobody said they're beating Alabama every week. They're beating who's in front of them, and by the way, these are all teams who have been beating them for the last decade, and so you're getting better. And would you like to be 7-3? And does it matter what schedule you played? I think the answer is yes. I think they're bitter anger texts, and you're right.
Right. Yeah. And I'll give you even something better.
Please.
Of those teams that have winning records, do you know how many losing records are on the ledger of schools that they've beaten?
I'm going to guess 64%.
I mean, come on. What is Michigan's schedule built on?
Yeah. Look, you're right. Well, Air Force beat Robert Morris, Sam Houston, Utah State. Have I given you a team with a winning record yet? San Diego State, San Jose State. None of those had a winning record, and I'm not sure Navy or Army. Well, the Army beat them. Colorado State. The only team with a winning record that I think they've beaten is Wyoming, but they were ranked.
Right.
But I don't hear anybody complaining about it.
Right. So football to use a metric, and that's a basketball metric. JJ alluded to it. It's 100% right. It's a basketball metric. Football and basketball, you can't apply the same metrics to both sports.
Yeah. All right, man. I got to bounce. I got to go.
Thanks, guys.
Great call.
Appreciate
it's a great call. It is.
It's just bringing it back around to how we started with Boise State and how the other fans are losing their mind. They were 8-0 in conference play last year.
But you can't have a down year.
Won 10 games when it was all said and done.
And they may end up 6-7-5. Who knows? Who knows? All right, if you're there, stay there. I got to take this final break. We're going to get you in. We're going to get you up to date on everything you need to know as you go through the day. I got a really interesting tidbit on like America's favorite school, the James Madison Dukes. In the last week, they have pretty impressive. It's next on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal. You're home for Sunday night.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
fake. They have a man. It's a conversion on the fake. It's complete out wide to the big tight end, David Butler. And it's a Rams first down.
It's tough.
I'll say he stepped out of bounds at the 15. Right back to it, and he is in. Touchdown for Charles Lopez Burton.
Olivas has some time. Josiah Mitchell, it's intercepted. Touchdown. It'll go the distance, and Jared Meechan.
Bunch formation to the left. Cabrera, the handoff. Cabrera's got some room. Up the middle of the 45-40. Foot race to the end zone. Cabrera trying to outrace the Matador secondary. Dash drug down. Touchdown, I believe. That'll be a 70-yard touchdown run, and it is. Cabrera of
right alongside. We expect to be a low-scoring game. Garcia has a lot of speed. Garcia is gone. Nobody gonna catch him. Touchdown Vikings. Daniel Garcia with breakaway speed.
Yeah. Brandon Olivas, see if he can get the same sort of magic. This time he looks to his right first, then he's looking to his left. He's gonna bomb this out there for Moorhead again. Jahari Moorhead! My goodness!
Kyle Evan Huss back to work on the option. He'll flip it out. Big time hole there. See you later. One play and to the house for Malachi Gutierrez. Pressure. It's coming from the side now. He's rolling. Goes down the field. Open man. Touchdown! Elijah Hansen connects.
And that will be blocked up front. Picked up. And I think we've got ourselves a return for a touchdown. Jace Henderson, the sophomore, has a million.
I don't know if I could have done that or not. We remember all those signals to give the quarterback.
Rivera throws over the middle, intercepted.
Guess
Third
who that
is. There's Megan Posa.
Guess who that
Megan
is.
Posa. Posa down the right side, still on his feet down the left side now, cuts it back up the hash. Posa may score. Posa still on his feet. Dragging the tackle to the end zone, dives in, touchdown, I believe. Let's see, touchdown.
That has to be a
Megan
touchdown.
Posa.
Why you guys are so damn good. What did you just tell me Boise State was last year?
They're 8-0 in conference.
Text line says, yes, Boise was 8-0, but who did they beat? That caller was right. It's such a stupid argument. Yeah, they were 8-0, but who they beat? And then they got beat in the championship game anyway. So it didn't matter, and they finally played someone. It's so bad. Yeah, look, you bulk it up. Know who you are. Would you have preferred, and I know you would, the people who were calling about New Mexico State schedule, you would have preferred they played the 3 Power 5 schools. Remember last year they played at Minnesota. What was it, at Florida? They played 3 last year, right? Was it Kentucky?
I don't think they played 3 last year.
I'm certain they played 3 last year. Because I remember Jerry being upset about it. I promise you they played 3 road games against power conference schools last year. I know they went to Minnesota, and I know you're looking it up. But yeah, is that what you'd have been happier with? And I know some of you, then they wouldn't be bowl eligible, see? Okay. This is good.
Yeah, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Missouri.
Yeah, no, I knew they did. Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Missouri. Feel better about that? And by the way, they still got to a bowl game. Well, on a waiver, Jeff. Yep, they did, on a waiver. Now, would they have beat San Jose State? I don't know. If they had played San Jose State when they were scheduled, they might not have beat them. Don't you think if the Aggies would play San Jose State on that last game of the season, they would? If San Jose State would have agreed to make up that game last year, don't you think they'd have beat them? New Mexico State?
It would have been a close game.
Yeah.
It would have been.
They would have had a chance. All right, James Madison. For those of you just joining us, James Madison, Stiglitz University, beat Michigan State yesterday in basketball. 4th-ranked Michigan State. They won 79-76 in overtime. First time a top 5 team has lost at home to open the season to a non-ranked team since 2001. So in the past week, James Madison University has, I did not know this, beaten the number 1 team in soccer. Did you know that? Did not know that. Beaten the number 4 team in basketball, Michigan State. And they started 9-0 in football. Let them go bowling. They will end up in a bowl game. I firmly believe that. I believe the system's going to open up and allow that, just because there won't be enough. There won't be enough bowl eligibles, but I believe that will happen. All right, here's what you got to know as you go through your day. What are people going to be talking about as you go through your? What is it? Tuesday in the Duke City? What are you looking at?
I'm just looking up the soccer one. Really intrigued me.
Who they beat? Who's number 1? James Madison.
UCF.
Okay. See? Lobo basketball opened the season with a win last night. Men 92-55 beat Texas Southern. Next up, they will be on the road Thursday over on News Radio KKOB against 19th-ranked St. Mary's. Lobo women opened up the season with a victory, 79-56 over Texas Southern in the pit. Next up, JJ will be on the radio here on The Sports Animal Thursday from Malibu. The Lobos will take on the Waves of Pepperdine from Firestone Fieldhouse. New Mexico State opened their season. The men on the road, they lost to 16th-ranked Kentucky. 86-46 was the score. They were down by 8 at halftime, got outscored 47-19 in the second half and got run out. And the ladies for New Mexico State lost at home. Arizona beat them to open up the season. Monday Night Football last night, Chargers 27, the Jets 6. Big win for the Chargers and a really frustrating day for the Jets offense. And quarterback Kyler Murray is set to start for the Cardinals, barring a setback. He has not played since having ACL surgery. Well, he had the ACL surgery in January. And Joshua Dobbs is set to start for the Vikings.
Of course he is. Legend Josh Dobbs.
Kind of, huh? I mean, kind of.
That's why you call that man Joshua.
Yeah. Joshua. So Dan specified the strength of schedule, said the 155 strength of schedule for New Mexico State includes FBS and FCS. Okay. All right. So they're not bowl worthy. At what point? What's the cutoff for bowl worthiness on strength of schedule? Is it 82? Is it 100? Is it 50? Is it? And if you play a better strength of schedule but have a worse record, then are you more bowl worthy than if you win your games? If
we were having this argument with say Boise State, maybe I'd feel differently. I'd be like, all right, you guys start playing some people with the expectations, what you've done, let's go.
But they played UCF, who's a Big 12 school. They played Memphis, who's a top.
That's not what I'm saying, Jeff. I'm saying if this was like Boise State's road all the time, and you're just like, well, maybe try to play someone. But this is New Mexico State.
Right.
This is New Mexico. They're trying to start somewhere.
How do you build?
They're trying to get somewhere to when they do play a little bit better games in their non-conference schedule. When you schedule that game 8 years from now on your non-conference schedule, you're like, all right, here we go.
It's true.
Like, it's just bitterness. That's all it is. It's not a valid argument. Okay. But guess what? They're winning those games.
Yeah.
And
games they were losing in the past.
And I'm waiting for the Lobos to take that step, and they have it. I don't care who it's against.
By the way, their strength of schedule will get better over the next 3 weeks when they play Western Kentucky, Auburn, and Jacksonville State.
And if they get blown out the belt, then you can send your text and see you're overrating them. But they are just beating teams that they weren't beating before. And that's a step. And that's what you're trying to do, is these programs in football are trying to take steps forward to consistency.
And they could lose 3 in a row. They could. Look, these are all, I mean, you expect them to lose at Auburn, right? You would expect that they're going to go in Auburn and get beat, right?
Yeah. But they're also a win away from playing for a conference championship. And Jerry Kill was right. He's like, I don't think people are realizing this. It was fun. We had the back-to-back bowl shirts. This is awesome. A conference championship. When was the last time this state was talking about a Division I conference championship?
It would be in 1997 when the Lobos played in the WAC championship against Colorado State.
That's a big deal.
Yeah. I think it was in 2016, I think the Lobos went into the last game of the season with a chance to get in. They needed somebody to lose, and they finished second in their division. But the last time one of these schools...
And people did not give that season enough credit.
Because they weren't exciting enough. They only ran the ball. Yeah, because they only ran the ball. Lobo Hobos, this is his stock email. What did Rocky do here? He lost to Portland State. You can't lose to Portland. Like Portland State's his defining thing. He lost to an FBS. Give me a coach. Well, whatever. His record was 65-69. They played boring offense. Folks quit going to the games. The program was on probation when he left. He was replaced by Mike Loxley. Think about that. Krebs told us Loxley was an upgrade. Think about this. Bryce Young was drafted before C.J. Stroud. Lobo Hobo, go ahead and make me an argument that the program has been better since Rocky left. Go ahead. That would be that could be the addendum on your stock email. Thanks to Jerry Kill. He was with us. You can find that conversation at sportsanimalabq.com. Click on the opening drive or wherever you get podcasts. Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowers after that. 2 Men On's here at 4. We're back with award-winning radio tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. DC, great work. Really, really good work. Adrian, terrific. Looks good on the visual side. Big day for you, huh?
Huge day.
All right, enjoy it. Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll smell you tomorrow.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.